you don't know by now, we specialize in creating B2B videos for service providers in pretty much any industry, but typically in tech, healthcare, medical, defense, aerospace. It's B2B. And so in this video, I want to walk you through some of the B2B content marketing strategies that we've seen to work and that we are implementing for our clients as well as for ourselves, because my company, Video CEOs, is also a B2B. So the same strategies, the same methods that we are actually implementing are the same ones that I advise my clients and that we help our clients with. So in this video, I'm going to walk you through what those are. Now, what most people think as a B2B strategy is to go out and do like trade shows and conferences and to do a lot of networking, which I wouldn't advise against, but it is a significant time investment because you either have to be going to those events or sending your team to go and do it on your behalf, which costs you money. If you're going to trade shows, you're competing with other people for a booth. Again, it costs you money. Sometimes the return on investment isn't quite there. And even though it's not quite there, most of the time I see B2B companies, they continue to go to the same trade shows every year because it's almost like they have to keep up with the Joneses. So instead, what you want to do to actually get an ROI on your trade shows and your conferences and your networking is to show up everywhere else so that when someone does finally go and meet you, or when they do see you at the trade show, they recognize your brand and they recognize you and your face if you want to be on camera, and they recognize your company and the services and the offer that you have. This means it's going to lead to a much faster, easier sale because people have already heard of you before. If the first time someone ever hears of you is when you DM them or call them on the phone or send them an email, I mean, typically those people aren't going to buy very quickly. They're going to want to do a lot of research in the background. Most people do their research before they buy anything, especially if you're hoping that they're going to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars with you. And so to counteract that, you need to have a content marketing strategy in place. What we're doing at Video CEOs is we're using a lot of AI and virtual teams, mostly video editors, creative directors, to create content on behalf of our clients to save them heaps of time. Because without using us or our tools and methods, you would have to record your own videos, create your own content, learn all the AI software to do it yourself. Or you can, use some of the advice I'm going to give you in this video to create an endless amount of video content or blog articles, written content, text, images, whatever it is that goes along with your marketing strategy. And really, as a B2B company, you want to be focusing on the highest leverage activity, which in my opinion, and which I know for a fact, is video content. Because one video, you can cut that down into, a blog article, LinkedIn posts, images, captions, short videos, whatever it is. You can break it down into a whole bunch of different things. So one 10-minute video or one 5-minute video can be broken down into a whole heap of different pieces of content that you can put out there online. And so your goal as a B2B company is to not only humanize your brand, I'm sure you've heard that before, but to also show up everywhere and be consistent in showing up everywhere so people recognize your brand over time. As a B2B company myself, or, as someone who's running a B2B company, I know that this doesn't happen overnight. And unfortunately, most of us as entrepreneurs, they want something that's going to happen quick. They want results fast. So a lot of people don't invest in a content marketing strategy. But this is actually a major problem. And it is the reason why you're not getting quick results. Because like I said earlier, if you DM someone, they're going to want to do their research. They want to find out about you and your business first. If you don't have any content to back up your claims, to show your process, to demonstrate how you actually help that particular prospect or that potential client, they're going to buy from someone else because they're going to do that research anyway. And they're going to find your competitors' content out there on the internet. And so their competitors' content is going to be warming them up. And you're just kind of sitting on the sidelines because you don't have anything to back up what you're saying. So your competitor's going to warm them up. Why would they go with you when they're reading about your competitor or, reading information on your competitor's website, consuming your competitor's content? So you need to be able to keep up with the times. You need to be able to compete with the other companies that are putting out content so that you show up at all times and you're showing up consistently every day. This is going to boost the ROI on any of your trade shows, on any of your lunch and learns, on any of your sales demos. And ideally, it's going to mean that people are going to book appointments with you through inbound. That is ultimately the whole goal of this. It's the biggest desire for most businesses. If you can just remove your sales team or reduce it down to a small amount and still make money and still have people coming through inbound, it means that your profits go up. You're capturing more money from the market. So there's literally no reason why you shouldn't be doing this. It's win, 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 win for everyone. Plus the content actually helps your clients or your potential prospects. It makes you look good. It builds your brand. It improves your personal brand as well. Because if you are the owner or a decision maker in a company that is showing up all over the place, I probably don't need to go on. right? So what are the strategies that we're using in B2B for ourselves and for our clients? The first one is that you need to have a video on your website, because when someone goes there, they need to understand what it is that you do. Typically for B2B, the solution that you're offering has a bit of technicals in there. It's got a bit of technology in there. Sometimes it can be complex, right? Or a combination of all of those things. So you want to be able to demonstrate in very simple terms what it is that you do and how you can help that particular person or that prospect who's going to your website. That video also qualifies them. Some people might argue that you've already got the information on your website, but then you're relying on people to actually go on your website and do their own research, in which case that's very hard to track and it's hard to rely on. You're pretty much just hoping that someone's going to go and do that research. Most people don't have very long attention spans. If they go there and they can't work out what your company does or how you can help them, or if it even is relevant to them in the first few seconds, then they're just going to click off and go somewhere else, right? You've lost a potential customer. So a video does the brunt of the selling in that case. The video will be designed to get someone to book an appointment or to buy if you just have a process where people can buy from your website. Now, I call this a video sales letter. This is something that we always make for our clients, and we've got it on the Video CEO's website as well. But you don't just have to have one VSL or video sales letter. You can have multiple ones for different services. You can have multiple videos for different target audiences, and you can send that different target audience to different landing pages, depending on what it is that you're actually trying to get across. This also means that your sales team doesn't have to do a lot of work to try and get the sale. You just have to send people to that video. The video will warm them up. Then when they book a call, they've kind of already understood what it is that you do, how you solve their problems. And then it's just up to your sales team to kind of customize the approach for them, make your potential customer feel like they're getting a deal, whatever it is that your sales process is. And then it's easier. It means your sales team has more time to invest in maybe pulling people in, sending more traffic there, etc. They don't have to jump on a call with every individual person and run a demo. I see this a lot with software companies. Most software companies don't even have videos on their website showing the software or teaching people how to use the software. So when I go onto a website and it's a software, if they don't have any of that, it puts me off, because I don't really want to learn how to use something on my own. I want someone to actually help me, or to know that there's a database of information that will show me how to use that tool or that software or those features. But the same applies for any kind of business. If you're a service business, let's say you're in tech, you want to be able to demonstrate your process, your mechanism for helping someone achieve a certain goal or to achieve a result. How do you implement the solution for those people? That's what's going to separate you from every other company delivering the same service as you. It's the way that you do it. It's your approach. And so you need a video to explain that. Once you've got that video, you now need to try and get traffic. So a lot of people will say to run ads. I don't disagree. Ads is a good thing to do. You can run ads with images, with text. Videos are, again, a really good way for you to demonstrate the complex features of your product or service in a very simple way. So a video will help you get more clicks back to your website with another video that's going to sell them on the product or the service or the offer that you have. The problem with ads, though, is that you can get shut down very easily. And it's just going to keep costing you money, right? Again, it affects your profits. If you're reducing your sales team, but then you're spending all that money on ads, you're kind of still losing either way. Yeah, you might be getting clients and things, but it still reduces the amount of profit or the amount of money that you're actually taking home. So the next step is to have that content behind you so that you can back everything up. Because if someone sees an ad, they might go to your website and then they're going to do some research. You need to have content on every single social media channel that your ideal customers spend their time on. Typically in B2B, this is LinkedIn, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, any of those, if not all of them. Some B2B companies also go with TikTok, but there's a lot of talk that TikTok might eventually be banned in some of these Western countries. So I would say don't put all your eggs in one basket. Make sure that you're covering all of your bases. YouTube is a really big one, because if you put your videos on YouTube, they remain there forever. So you can actually make evergreen videos that will show up in search, so that when your ideal customers do that research, your videos, your content will show up during that buyer journey. And so that's really the point, is to create certain assets that can show up with people doing their research, which will subtly sell them on your product or your service, or just on yourself, so that they decide to buy from you over any of your competitors. Or at the very least, you create content and sales assets that help them solve a problem on their own, so that you can build trust. And when they get to a much bigger problem, you're going to have a solution to that. And because you've already helped them solve smaller problems on the way to a much bigger one, they're going to be far more likely to buy. So a really good B2B content strategy then is to figure out what kind of content to actually create. That's probably the hardest part, because it kind of depends on what kind of company you have, what you're offering, what type of clientele you're trying to attract. But what I found to have worked really well for most B2B companies is just to be an authority in your industry. So talking about some of the biggest trends or some of the major news that is happening in that industry. So as an example, if you're a cybersecurity company, you want to have content that talks about all kinds of different things: ransomware, zero trust, security awareness, good cyber hygiene and things like that. And that's typically what most people will do. But you want to add another layer to that type of content by talking about some of the major data breaches, by talking about some of the biggest hacking groups, maybe getting a little bit political, because cybersecurity is a little bit of a political game. Maybe you don't want to talk politics, but you still might want to highlight the fact that certain countries are doing certain things, or that the US gets attacked most by a certain country, or that the US is doing most of the attacking. Whatever angle that you want to prioritize, you can become an industry leader or a thought leader in your industry by talking about these trends and these major news articles or these major stories. And in saying that, you're also going to want to create content that has a storyline, because stories are memorable and it enables people to put themselves into the content. So if you can create storylines around what you're doing or about the offer that you have or about the service or about the industry, and you can create content that places your ideal customer into the story itself, it's going to be far more memorable. It's going to have far more impact on those people. It's going to educate them better, because ideally they're going to be able to understand what it is you're offering based on the content, as long as you can make the complex simple. And if you do this over a long period of time, there's absolutely no way that you can fail, because you've got content backing up all of your claims. When your salespeople email someone or reach out to them via DMs, or if you meet someone at a trade show and they do their research, you're going to have the audience and the authority around what it is that you're trying to sell, so that it's an absolute no-brainer. And this is how you get more inbound sales coming in through B2B content marketing, which is everyone's goal at the end of the day. If you can get more inbound sales, your sales team can be reduced. You can only focus on the best salespeople and keep them in your company. Because if you follow the 80-20 rule, 80% of your sales are probably coming in from only 20% of your sales team. So it means that you can actually leverage this. You end up getting more profit. Everything just wins. Your clients or your prospects win. You build brand, you win. Your reputation goes up. You become an authority. You get more inbound sales. Everything. I mean, I've touched on pretty much everything so far in this video. So if you've got any questions, let me know in the comments below. I know this is a bit of a long one, but hopefully it was valuable to you. And I'll see you in the next one.